Hey friends, welcome back to another webisode of Tabitha's Topics. My name is Tabitha Morris and I'm the owner of Clinical Consulting Agency, which is an agency geared towards the professional advancement of mental health professionals and organizations all around the world. So thank you all for tuning in today. There's so much going on in the world and there's so many platforms and so much information that is available to us, but sometimes that information can be misleading or inaccurate, or we don't have a full understanding of what it is. So today we are going to be tackling one of the world's most famous diagnoses, narcissism. So we've all heard the term before, narcissist, and it's used quite prevalently at this particular point in time. If you have not already done so, we did a whole segment on gaslighting, which is definitely one of the symptoms of narcissists, but that's not the only item. First and foremost, we must understand what exactly does it mean. So we've all heard this term narcissism, right? And so usually with narcissistic people, they have a superiority complex. So their idea of themselves is usually larger than life. They tend to link with individuals that they may benefit from, who may be in their path of success, whatever that looks like for them. Also with narcissists, they tend to be very cunning, very attractive individuals. It's very, very rare that you find a narcissist that does not take care of themselves. They are usually hung up on what their outward appearance looks like to the world. Now, one thing about this diagnosis is that it only impacts 1 out of every 200 individuals, statistically speaking. However, 75% of these individuals that are impacted by this disorder are men. So some of these signs include, but are not limited to, an inflated sense of importance, a deep need for excessive attention or admiration, the lack of empathy for others, and one of the biggest signs is the inability to maintain relationships. So in their life, you'll see a lot of troubled relationships. There's a lot of shifting of blame. There's a lot of again, that grandiose behavior, just shifting the blame, not being accountable, not having that. Now, one thing I do want to make emphasis on, or place emphasis on, is that sometimes narcissistic personality disorders mimic other personality disorders or other disorders, such as bipolar disorder, which is what we discussed last week. So this is why it's important for you to go to a professional who can help diagnose accurately, because you don't want to be misdiagnosed and then walk around thinking that you may have something that you truly do not have. Also, another indicator of this, honestly, is that many narcissists have co-occurring disorder, meaning that's not their only disorder. The baseline for it could be trauma. Something traumatic may have happened in their childhood where they had to have inflated self-esteem. Maybe they were not getting it from a parent, a school teachers, or whatever the case may be, whatever was needed in their life to fulfill that need. So they've learned to fulfill it on their own. Unfortunately, it's something that could not be rectified. So what happens is oftentimes with narcissistic people or individuals, they have, again, that inflated self-worth, right? Not only do they have that, but they are usually very logical thinkers. Again, this mimics a lot of what we discussed in our gaslighting series. So if you go back and review that series, you can definitely see exactly what I'm correlating it to, but a lot of them are very logical. So once they have an inkling of, once you're hooked on the emotional part of them, that's when they know that you have them, or that's when they know that they have you, I should say. So it's important. It's very, very, very important. If you see these traits early, address it firmly or exit stage left, because what can happen is you will wind up being in situations that will potentially cause harm to either yourself emotionally and or your children involved. It is not something to play around with. These individuals are they're associated with, again, other disorders and other serious disorders. So it's important to recognize these signs early. The first thing that they will try to do, if you are in a relationship with these people and you may have come from a background of trauma or a background where you don't have a good support system, they will try to slowly but surely isolate you. That is one of the signs. They will slowly and surely isolate you. The next thing is they will begin the deterioration of your mind. How does that work? Through your self-esteem, through how you normally dress, how you normally wear your hair, the things that make you feel confident as a person individually before they have entered your life. And so these, again, are really, really key signs to pay attention to. And that's more so for in relationships, and like romantic relationships. But when it comes to work relationships, it can look a little bit different. Now, with another solution is to combat logic with logic. Again, with narcissism, do not have cognitive delays. They are very intelligent. Most of them are very intelligent. So making sure that whatever evidence that you have, you are able to stand your ground on that, because they will divert it or somehow turn it back on you. This is in work or personal relationships, okay? So it is important for you to be able to stand your ground and say, no, I'm not going to accept this. Do not get emotional. This is solution number 3. Again, and it ties into number 2, just remaining logical. And I know it's hard because, sometimes you may be passionate about something or you really want to express your emotions. But again, you have to remember that these individuals do not have empathy. They do not care about your needs, okay? They care about how it benefits them all the time. Everything that they do is strategic, how it will benefit them in the future. That's why they hook people into them, okay? That's why they make sure that once they know that they have your buy-in, they go on about their business. So it's important for you to go on about yours as well. This, again, is a very serious disorder that can have the possibility to not only damage you emotionally, but it can damage those who are impacted by it. For example, if you have children in the house who are watching this behavior, or you have children who may be in a work setting who is watching this behavior, slowly but surely picking up on these these signs and executing that behavior, you will find out that later on down the road that they will start to themselves exude everything that they have been learned in that particular setting. It's not good. It's a cycle that has to be broken. And the person, whoever is facing that cycle, has to be the one to say, I don't want to operate like this anymore. I don't want to hurt people anymore. I don't want to continue pushing good people away. I don't want to continue hurting people that love me. So this is a very serious disorder, and this is why I'm truly taking the time to talk about it today, because we can no longer go around calling people narcissists. If they do not have that is a serious offense, and we have to be cognizant of the words that we are speaking over people, especially if they are children, and especially if they may have been in a traumatic situation and they may exude some of the behaviors. They may exude some of the behaviors for a short period of time, but they may not necessarily have the disorder. It's important for us, if we suspect that our loved ones have something or have an issue, what we can do out of love is help them get help. That's all we can do. But we do not want to go around getting advice from platforms and people on platforms that do not have the clinical expertise. They can give you their experiences. Yes, they can. But we have to be strategic in how we execute everything. It's not fair, y'all. It's not right. This word is being thrown around like it is, it's just a popular term, and that's not the case. So I hope that something was said on this week to really get you to think about what this looks like in your life. If you could prevent any additional harm from occurring, if you find yourself in a romantic or even a platonic situation where somebody has been gaslighting you or somebody has been exuding some of these qualifications of narcissism, you want to make sure that you use some of the links below to make sure that you help them get the help that they need. Of course, it's always optional, but the only way that we can really heal from something is if we deal with it, okay? So thank you all for joining me for this special segment of Tabitha's Topics. If you have not already done so, if you are a mental health professional, go ahead and subscribe to our channel first and foremost. But also, we will be having a segment, The Pack, this upcoming Tuesday, on how to cope with our own mental health. So be sure to go ahead and come to our event. It's something that you don't want to miss. If you are an emerging entrepreneur, we will be having a conference. This is strictly for new or contemplating entrepreneurs. You've contemplated long enough. We have some amazing individuals who have been in this market with a cumulatively over 40 years of experience. So you want to make sure that you join us. This is something you do not want to miss. Registration details will be rolling out on May 21st. So make sure that you all stay tuned. And last but not least, thank you all for tuning in every week. I truly enjoy you all. I truly enjoy bringing light to dark places and exposing things that need to be exposed so that we all can learn, flow, and grow together. Once again, my name is Tabitha Morris, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Love you guys.